What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Sportscast. It's me, Andy. We've got Gary. We've got Musk. We are in the feathers for the most depressing sportscast of the year.
Could get worse, mate.
Well, I don't know. It's fucking rain and the weather's crap. And we'll get into that in a minute. But we are in the feathers. The one positive, my home from home. This weekend, well, you've got Killer Dart every Thursday. It's getting busier and busier every Thursday. That's definitely worth coming down if you're local. On Friday, you've got Abby Hodge. She's a belter. On Saturday, you've got the Left Indicators. Sunday, you've got Steph Hodge. So get down and support all them. Abby and Steph, brilliant singers. So come watch them all weekend down at the Feathers. Massive thank you once again to Peter Jackson and Hill Dickinson. They've been sponsoring the pod. And again, if you haven't already, don't forget, go back and watch their episode on the name and rights of Everton's new ground. And also, our latest sponsor is Comoletics. Gary's rocking the nice hoodie, the snug hoodie fit, and I quite like the t-shirt. It's you know what I mean, lads. It's loving the gear, and no doubt they're going to be having loads of sales on over Christmas coming up and loads of deals and stuff like that. So make sure you follow them on Instagram and also take advantage of the 30% off. You type in leg at 30 at checkout, 30%.
Got a really good sale on now. I think it's like 50% off a load of stuff. So
is it?
Yeah. Don't know how that. I mean. Maybe I'm crossing the line here about that.
You probably just swerved that code. Nice one.
Yeah. No, I mean...
Either way, it's great for Comoletics.
You can add the code on top of it. You might even end up getting...
You're about 99% off. But no, it's Boss gear. I'm wearing it every day now, mostly. So, massive thank you to them. And go and take advantage of it. Right. Should we just talk about life in general, about what we've been up to in our own personal lives and just stick away from sport this week?
My personal life hasn't been that interesting, so I prefer sport, to be honest.
Mine's been all right.
It's not the life cast yet, is it? That's another.
Well, I'll talk about my weekend first, then, and to talk about footy. I went to Marrakesh. I know you said you've been. Actually, you did message me when I was over there, didn't you? Brilliant. I loved it, but I think we actually logistically on a holiday planned it perfectly. So we had excursions to do. So done a hot air balloon, riding in the camels in the desert, and visited the waterfall. So we had like 3 days of activities. And then around that, we were kind of in the city. But there's some part of the city that is an absolute shithole. Like there's this big massive square, and there was a construction site going on. No doubt they had no permits for it.
No, there's no health and safety.
There's no health and safety going on. So there's just tractors just like going through a crowd of people. You look to your left and there's a fella blowing his little his recorder, and snakes are coming up, cobras. Then you've got another fella who's got a monkey on his shoulder wearing a dress. Then another guy selling you fake watches and fake AirPods.
Sounds like the Feathers on a Friday night.
It's bizarre, and it's all right for like 20 minutes, but you can't even browse any of the shops because as soon as you look, they're like, "Oh, say, missed them." Yeah. So it gets annoying quick. But then you come away from that, and there's like a posh part. There was a Nobu hotel that had a nice rooftop bar. We went to this Buddha bar, which had an amazing show on. So there's like, you can't... No,
it's definitely worth going. Like,
definitely
it's not my cup of tea, but I know what you mean. I think once you get over that initial culture shock, it's like, whoa, this is different.
Mad.
You've just got to take it for what it is.
But you know what's lovely though, and I think it's good to do all the time, is to have that culture shock. You know, how often do we go on holiday? Like, you go to Spain a bit, and it's practically England, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? With nicer weather, to go somewhere like that, it's like, wow, this is how other people live, which is mad. So, I went there. It was nice.
I spent a lot of time in India when I was younger,
of course,
coaching footy and stuff, and travelled most of India. Which, honestly, I think if you've never been to India, a bit like how you explained that, like there's levels to this culture shock, and that is up there with one of the biggest shocks I've ever had. But then once you settle down and just appreciate it for what it is, and again appreciate the way, as you're probably going to come on to, how people can just be happy and content in their life and their little routine and what makes them happy. But it's a reminder as well, lad, is you don't realise how lucky you are, how fortunate
living in this country, being born in this country. Like, do you know what I mean? So come back from there, and then it was just straight. So actually, I didn't go to the game last night because I'd been away from my daughter and I wanted to see her, so I gave me sold me ticket.
There we go.
Actually,
this is what happens, you see. They start losing a few games. I've heard this so many times this week. And genuine excuse. I haven't seen my daughter. All these excuses start coming out now. Oh, I had a busy week in work. Anyone want my ticket? I've never seen social media with so many people saying, anyone want to go to the match? Anyone needs a ticket? Normally it's red sledge, any tickets going. Now it's the other way around. It's brilliant.
I've been away for 4 nights not seeing my daughter, so I wanted to see my daughter.
Okay. So,
I actually asked, you know what the truth is?
Even Albert doesn't believe that.
Well, I asked Albert if she wanted to go.
And Albert said no.
And Albert said no.
Albert says I'm sick of getting ripped in school for going to the match.
No, she does drama on a Wednesday, and she said, would I
better drama there last night.
You're on form today, aren't you? I said, do you want to go to drama or the match? And she said, I'd rather do drama. So
drama and the match.
Right.
Where do we even start?
Where do we even start, really?
Oh, God.
It's obviously we love an analogy on this show, right? The analogy I've came up with, right? Bear with me. It's like you've been married 6 or 7 years, right? To your soulmate, the love of your life, right? And she unfortunately passes away. Okay. You're not interested in getting a new bed. You just, you know what I mean? You've loved and lost, and you kind of.
And you got a nice house, nice family, nice job. You don't need that in your life. You just got all those things like your players.
No, you're taking this analogy off, right? Listen, you're married, the love of your life for 6, 7 years. She unfortunately passes away. You're heartbroken. You are gutted. You've got no intention of going near another woman again. But then another woman comes along. Actually looks a little bit like your ex-missus. She reminds you of your ex-missus who's passed away. And she's saying all the right things, but you're not keen on, you know what I mean? You don't think you can love like this again. But after a bit of pressure, you give it a chance. And this new bird is actually boss. You know what I mean? And you're like, you know what? Maybe I can love again. Maybe this is, you know what I mean? All right. And then after a year.
Hold on, but then she goes out and buys you a nice watch and a nice car as well. And you go, ooh, this is different.
Exactly. Okay. Even better. You're like, this new bird's actually eclipsing my wife who passed away. This is even better. Do you know what I mean? I found love again. And then after a year, she's just a massive crank. And you realise it was just a rebound. That's the kind of. I'm not 100% there yet, but it's kind of leaning towards like.
I'd love to see it 100% there though, if that's the case.
I don't think most lads who go to the game who I speak to, forget all this bullshit on social media. Like, you know, those stupid like
those Irish fella.
Lad,
so
there was some woman, I got sent one this morning, all me mank mates messaged me this woman on TikTok who's probably never even visited Liverpool as a city. You know, those forget that noise. I think most Reds
doing a watch along in a full kit.
Exactly. Most Scouse Reds who go to match, I don't think anyone, fair to say, is slot out.
I don't know about that.
I don't think.
I disagree. I'm obviously not
speaking for every
match going Liverpool fans.
I can't speak for every lad who goes to match, but I'd say the lads I know, I don't think anyone is slot out yet.
I think last night
John Parry, I think, listens.
Tipping point for some.
Listen, it's close now, but I don't think anyone's like fully out yet.
The first one I seen this morning, John Parry, I think listens, was just like, do one, Arnie, I'm sick of you.
Do you know what it is? Like,
I think he calls him a ballsy. See you next Tuesday.
He's a nice guy, isn't he? He's likeable in his press conferences, and I want him to do well. And listen, it's no mean feat winning the Premier League in your first season. He's got credit in the bank. Like
it feels a lot like to me, Frank Lampard with us. He like how obviously he didn't win the league, but he kept us up, didn't he? And he become this like obviously he wasn't, maybe he has a bit more personality in the way he done it, but Everton fans loved Frank Lampard, but in the end it was like, you can't keep putting up, you can't be the orchestrator of these performances and these results. And as much as we like you and you seem like a nice guy and you say things, and as a fan you're like, I get it, I agree with you. And I wish it was that simple. And that's it, like the way he talks and the things he's saying. As a fan you're going, yeah, you're right, but do something about it. I think Carragher said last night, didn't he? He was like, Curtis Jones coming out and went in absolute turbo scally mode, talking about, I just need to kick people and all that. And he was like, do it then.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing it?
No, I totally
come out talking about it.
Actually, since you brought him up, I actually texted me good mate, Cara, and I said, Chanel, have you been watching the pod? And he said, no, why? Because he'd literally said...
No.
Yeah, no, yeah. But
why would I? Well, mate, I see you in the pub every other week and talk to you instead, mate.
No, but he said to me, it was after I saw his comments on Salah not doing any interviews and all that. We said that 2 weeks ago, hadn't we? Salah is just been nowhere. So, yeah, I had a bit of a laugh and joke about that with him, for him calling it out, which I think he was bang on, by the way. But, going back to Slot, mate, he just needs to change something, and it's just like rinse and repeat with him. It's like, what's Einstein's thing on insanity?
The definition of science.
Insanity is doing the same thing,
expecting different results.
Lad, he's playing the same formation. He's playing... I mean, he come out and said that Gomez has had an injection, didn't he? But he's playing Szoboszlai again, right? Like, throw Endo in there or something.
I was going to say, what's happened to Endo? Because he was...
He clearly doesn't trust that.
Obviously not, listen, he's not going to come in against City and change the game, is he? But when you're just looking for determination, grit, roll your sleeves up, be difficult, I don't know. I mean, I think if you...
What that team was built on, right, if you think of Klopp, and I know we're going to reference Klopp quite a bit here, but like, if you think about it, right, we were all about high energy, high pressing, running, outwork the team. And Curtis Jones alluded to it last night. Be horrible to play against. That's what we were built on. That's what brought us success, and that's what gave the foundation for Slot to have his first season ending in a victory. What I think's missing is he's changing little bits, but I don't think actually he's changed that much. But I think what's lacking is that kind of presence, and I think he's lost the dressing room. I honestly think they don't look at him like they did with Klopp. They haven't got that
I'm sorry though, mate.
Fear thing about
I think there's far too many people, and maybe you're an exception here. You have dug out the players as well. There's far too many people who are not pointing the finger at the players though. Those 11 players, man for man, head and shoulders above that PSV team. You look at and you go back to the basics of football, and I say it all the time. Look your opposite number in the eye and go, I'm going to be better than you today. I'm going to work harder than you. I'm going to win my battles. There wasn't, I don't think, to a man, maybe Szoboszlai was the exception, who won a few battles last night. Nobody else won their battles 1v1. Perisic, how old's Perisic? 38 or something. Made to look a worldie.
But that's why, though, Gary. Yeah, ultimately, yeah, it is the players, but that's why I think he's lost the players.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, you've got to have a bit more pride in your work. Like, I think...
I agree with you, but I've already dug Sal out already. You've seen his attitude. He deletes everything from his social media. That's the type of player you're dealing with, right? So he's not going to be the type of player to pull his socks up and run through a brick wall for you as well. You can't be both, can you?
I think what's clearly true, something or several things have gone on behind the scenes, haven't they? Like, you can... That's got to have happened now. I think... And knowing football the way it is, and knowing the power of agents, and knowing the power of big players, I think certain players in that dressing room have gone over Arne Slot's head and went, we're not having him.
Yeah.
And I think they've tried to orchestrate a bit of a coup. It's not happened, and now they thought, well, what other option have we got to get him out other than to try and...
I think there's something in Salah, right? Hear me out on this. I voice noted you in the group, didn't I? I think when you think about it, right, you could argue Klopp's team finished, fourth? So we were nowhere near winning the league. Klopp famously said, everyone in my team will defend unless you're Lionel Messi. Okay, so Klopp's always been like, unless you're the greatest player to ever lived, you're going to run back, you're going to defend, right? So that means Mo Salah had to defend in a Klopp team. Slot came in, and Salah's actually come out in an interview and said, I sat down with the manager and said, if you want to win the league, I don't want to defend, and I will get you the numbers and I will get you the assists. So Slot said, yeah, okay, you're my best player, you do that. And to be fair, he did that. It worked. He got golden boot, he got the most assists, and Liverpool won the league. Brilliant. Okay? So if you actually delve into it, Slot didn't change that much, other than say to the best player we've got, you don't have to defend, you just score an assist. And that's what happened, and they won the league. I think that has given Mo so much player power that he can now go, listen, I told you what to do last season. I don't want to defend, I'll score goals. That's what won us the league. That then got him on the edge of almost kind of not going on strike, but he was coming out going, I want this contract. Then gets a big bumper contract. This season now, Salah's got this huge ego, this huge player power, and I think there's almost a bit of lack of respect there. Maybe I think Mo thinks I'm the one who won us the league type thing. You know what I mean? And I don't think Slot is kind of got that kind of aura that Klopp had to be like, listen, I'm the one who fucking picked the team.
It's like what's his name, the Dutch name for his name, the Man United manager.
Van Gaal.
No, not Van Gaal. The one recently just got
Ten Hag.
Ten Hag. So Ten Hag obviously got a little bit of credit, didn't he? Because he got rid of Ronaldo and he got rid of a few others, and it was like fair play. He's trying to do something. He's trying to upset that whole balance. But eventually, it just came down to the fact that he didn't have that because Alex Ferguson's done that. He had to break up teams, didn't he, in order to kind of move on. Yeah. He tried to do it, but then didn't have that kind of authority and that leadership after it. But I think you're onto something in relation to the player power and almost the message that sends out to other players when you put up with certain things or you allow certain things or you reward it. So, you end up giving a huge contract to Mo Salah. Now, I know 99% of Liverpool fans wanted that to happen, but it was still the case that he sulked, he done everything he could, he disrupted things to try and make sure he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Van Dijk may be slightly different, but again, it was still the case that Liverpool as a club didn't have the authority or the power, or the manager didn't have the authority or power to go, do one, go away. Trent, that wasn't a Liverpool decision. It was Trent's decision. Kanate's now looked at it and went, you know what? I can do that as well. I can now sulk. So it's almost like it's gone round the dressing room. We can bully this club. We can either get more money off them or we can make a move when we want.
And that core team, which was there for Klopp, that they're the players that you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? That kind of core, that kind of leadership group. You've got Trent. Listen, we know what he's went and done. You got Mo, who spits his dummy out until he gets his 450 grand a week. Van Dijk took his time in signing. These are all the core players that, help bring success and the foundation for Slot to come in. Now that they're getting the head turned.
And you've got Andy Robertson, who got his nose pushed out by getting swerved for Kerkez. Yeah. So all the senior players in some way, shape or form have been disrupted, haven't they? Or they've had the nose bent out of place.
And I'm not going to use this as an excuse, but you can look at it as there's not a big age gap between. Now, I know if you're ultimately professional, it shouldn't really matter in the workspace. But it's that thing of, how many times have you heard in any workplace, by the way, if a guy's been there 30, 40 years, he knows the job inside out, and then there's a young new MD or CEO comes in, and that's the new boss. The older fellow who's been there 30, 40 years, you look at this kid, don't you? You're like, oh, fuck off, lad. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's like that, but what maybe less than 10 years between Salah and Slot.
And also, if you're a Liverpool player or you're Mo Salah, and you believe as a group, do you know what? Mo Salah won us that league, not you. You didn't change that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Mo, listen, you've got to have an ego to be at the level he's got. I think Mo is thinking, not only did I score all the goals, not only did I get all the assists, there's an interview, go and find it. There's an interview where he says, the first day of pre-season, I said to the manager, if you want to win us the league, I don't want to defend. I want to play further forward. So now Mo's sitting there on this huge ego trip going, as soon as the manager came in, I told him how to play. I told him I didn't want to defend. I backed it up. I was top goal scorer, top assists. We won the league. I then got me 450 grand a week contract, what I wanted. Fucking look at me.
And if you look back to it, one of the first defeats in this fucking insanely bad run for yous was Galatasaray away when he drops Mo Salah. They're 1-0 down, brings him on after 60 minutes, and he walked around sulking. They ends up getting beat 1-0, and that pretty much kicked off the whole run. And you wonder whether he's thought, if I want to rest, I rest. You don't drop me.
Yeah.
And if you do drop me, you'll expect to lose.
I know I'm going in on Mo here, right? And it's like,
but it's almost a senior player, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it's almost got this thing where, like, I hate the way some fans, like, he's now untouchable. Listen, what he's done on the field, oh my God, unbelievable. Any fan who picks an all-time Liverpool 11, he's in it. Like, I'm not knocking him in any way, shape or form, but he's got to be accountable for how he is this season. And I think, obviously, it's just what my thoughts on it. I think something's amiss there with him and Slot. But ultimately, though, I'm going to blame the manager more because he needs to have the balls to say, you're being benched. Like, why he's persistent?
It hasn't worked for him. That's the problem, isn't it? I think when he's benched him, and also he's tried to do that with Canate, hasn't he? Like dragging him off and making a statement. And the players have. I mean, I spoke to someone this morning walking the dog, and he was in the match, and he said, "I looked down when that change got made. The players are all looking around at each other, going, 'Are you messing?' Even though he's had a nightmare." You've seen Gravenberch go. He said, "I've seen Gravenberch go. What? I'm going to play centre half again."
But the point is as well, those type of players, it's the mindset and where the head's at. You're looking at Canate, and he's going to fucking Madrid in 6 months anyway. Like, you don't know you don't know what Salah's going. I've got my fucking contract for the next 2 years.
The thing about Canate though is, even if he's going, should he not be playing for his wage at Madrid then? If he's already thinking, I'm going to Madrid, if his performances aren't good enough,
the chances are the deal's done, isn't it? Between his agent and Madrid, the deal's probably done. And I got no doubt about that. You're right, like, don't get me wrong. And I think if you're Alonso, Alonso might even be there at this rate. He'll probably be the next Liverpool manager. But
why is Alonso in the? Sorry, just to go off subject a second. Is Alonso in the firing line?
Just a few of the players are not. Again, a bit of player power. Like Vinicius Junior's been dropped a couple of times. Rodrigo was dropped at the start of the season. Again, it's them type of players that are used to being like Ancelotti, the laid back, obviously authoritative, but laid back figure. He puts them on the pitch and goes, "Go and play."
But it's that thing.
Alonso
again,
comes in and starts to change things, but
it's having an older manager. It's like honestly, I think it comes down to just this subconscious.
No, I don't know. I think it's man management, and that's that experience. But Gary, obviously, you do get extra credit.
It comes with that with age, though. That's what I'm saying.
I know it does, but I don't think that's always a matter of players going, "You're older than me, therefore I'm going to respect you."
No, I get that, but there's a subconscious natural thing where it's like, lad, if I was managing a fucking Sunday League team and you're playing, I'm your manager, you'd be more likely to tell me to fuck off, where if it was me half fella, I know you're respectful, do you know what I mean? I don't know, there's just this weird thing, I think, if you've got an older guy there, the experience, and like you say, got that aura, obviously all
experience
the experience
is the key though, isn't it? Is like looking at the whole situation objectively and forgetting about tactics and going, okay, well, how do I get on their level? How do I just try and talk to them, put an arm around them or bollock them or whatever it is? It's that experience of having 20, 30, 40 years of knowing that different players need different treatments. And, we got the credit last year for that treatment of Mo Salah and going, okay, well, you be the man. But we don't know whether he's got them other tools in his bag to be able to go, well, he doesn't need that treatment, he needs it differently. And the way he's dropped people, dragged people off, I don't know Canate inside out, I'm not a sports psychologist, but Canate doesn't strike me as the type of person who's going to take kindly to being hooked and dragged off and embarrassed in front of his teammates. He seems like quite a, proud but slightly cocky person as well. I don't know. I just don't think.
Do you think Dana White spoke about this this week on his fighters, and it's so true. Money ruins everything. Like, and what he was referencing is, you look at McGregor Mayweather. McGregor made that much money then. He never really properly fought again in the UFC after it.
He didn't have to.
Who's that famous boxer had to say? And it's impossible to, or it's hard to get up to go for a run at 5 a.m. when you've got silk bed sheets.
It was Mayweather, wasn't it?
No, it was someone back in the 80s or something. No, it was someone back in the 80s. But it's true. If you're living rough and it's life's hard, you've got that dream, that determination. When you get so much money so quickly, I do not give a fuck who you are. It takes a very, a top 0.1% of people, like your Messis and Ronaldos, that continue to strive for greatness despite all the wealth. So basically, the example Dana White made was Floyd Mayweather. You look at Khabib, when Khabib made all his money against McGregor, I don't think Dana White tells a story. He had Putin on the phone to him the next day, and he was in Russia 48 hours later, getting given land everywhere. It's like money can dampen someone's motivation, and it can dampen respect.
I think everyone's like that.
But it can dampen the respect you have for someone as well. Do you know what I mean? If you've got that much money, if you're on 400 grand a week, and the manager's going, you're getting dropped.
But is that also, and again, you go back to the message it sends out to the other players? Is there also probably a number of players in that group who are looking at Van Dijk and looking at Salah now and going, they're the two highest paid players at this club by a distance, and neither of them are even pulling the finger out, so why should we? And again, if you go into, you use the analogy, you go into the office and you know for a fact you've got the salesperson who's on mega money, gets paid his commission no matter what, whether the sales come in or not. The company's struggling. Are you motivated to go and sell when he's getting paid anyway, regardless? And I think that's that's true. No matter you talk about money ruining people, I think that's true of any
100%, yeah.
Any sector or any person. I think that's just as true in this situation. But
it's,
nonetheless, it's fucking great.
Well, do you know what? I will actually shake your hand and say I do not know how you over the years have come on this pod and done it week in, week out when Everton with this shite, because I just lose motivation for it. So you've obviously got,
as Muskie says at the start, you've just got to laugh.
You've got tons of resilience to be, but I'm just, it's to the point now, I'm not slot out, but I'm just being honest in my assessment of what I can see, and I just don't know how he turns this around.
I think it's a really interesting situation for the owners. I mean, were they the owners when Hodgson was in charge? Did they appoint him?
I think they did, yeah.
No, Hicks and Gillette were still there.
Were they? You sure?
Nah, I think
2010.
No, because Dalglish follows Hodgson, didn't he?
Yeah, because I think they brought Dalglish in.
I remember seeing Dalglish and
I think if that's the case, and I'm fairly sure it is, I'm fairly sure they brought Dalglish in as a bit of a custodian. You know, you look after it for a few months, get the motivation back up again. It makes me think that I wouldn't be surprised if they turn to Gerrard till the end of the season to do something.
One of my
mates
texted me that last night. Vicey,
just to do something like that and go, see, listen, I know Gerrard turns down the Rangers job and for his for good reasons and stuff and finances and not the right time. But if Liverpool come to Steven Gerrard and said, look, Steven, we need you to come in, inject some passion. We're not guaranteeing you anything other than to the end of the season.
I don't think he'd take it though. I think he'd want the role full time. I don't think he'd do it just for a couple of months.
I do.
By the way, Hicks and Gillette hired Hodgson. Hicks and Gillette then left in October.
They brought Dalglish in,
and then Dalglish was brought in January.
Yeah, so they brought Dalglish in. So okay. I don't know. I think they'll look at that and think, you know what, that's done the job at that moment in time. Because did you win the FA Cup?
They won both FA Cup and League Cup.
Yeah, won 2 cups, and then in the summer you go, yeah, thanks a lot, everyone.
But you know, if they were going to do that, I'd bring Klopp in.
I don't think it's possible. Obviously, anything's possible, but I think, from my understanding of what he signs up to, it would cost him a lot of money to walk away.
But I think...
I don't know.
If you put a gun to most Liverpool fans' heads and said, would you get Klopp in to steady the ship? I think everyone would say yeah.
I think most of them would, yeah. But I just don't think it'll happen. I think there's too much, not bad blood. I think there was a little bit of animosity between both parties. I'm not saying Klopp is the type of person to go told you so, or like, ooh, coming back to me. But I don't know. I just think for a number of reasons, it just doesn't happen.
But I think he obviously loves the club a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So it's like if the club are in distress a little bit. I mean, I seen Stevie talking last night saying it's not a crisis. He doesn't like using the word crisis. Fucking hell, I don't know how worse it needs to get, because if this continues, and let's be honest, it shows no sign of turning around at the minute. If this continues, we're not getting Champions League. We're not winning the Champions League. So then next season, what does that look like? So it's kind of like, I get what Stevie's saying, it's not a crisis now, but it's almost like being on a road to a cliff, and you're going, yeah, we're not at a crisis now, but 5 miles down the road, we're going to fall off a cliff. So
going back to what you said, though, about Steven not taking the job, how much does that... if you look at it now, if he's saying it's not a crisis and he believes that's not the case, surely he must look at that and go, this would be very easy to turn around and look like an half-decent coach or manager.
But you know the problem that brings, though, is these players now, no one's come out and said it, but listen, people are saying, the Jota impact and all that. If the manager gets sacked and Stevie comes in and they start pulling the socks up again, what does that tell you?
No, but I've said this. I said this with you mates last night. I said, what's a bigger problem for you now as fans, as a fan base, because we've seen it before, is your players have down tools, and you can't ever unsee that now.
Yeah.
You can't unsee the lack of, care and the lack of motivation that these players have shown when the chips are down. And it doesn't matter who takes over now. You might see an uplift, and as you say, if you do, it's even more concerning to go, hold on. Yeah. So it just took someone to come in and shout at you, or to give you, tell you what you want to hear, and suddenly you're now playing well again.
The thing which I think's dividing a few fans at the moment as well, and I won't go harp on about it too much because I said my piece on it a few weeks back, but this Jota thing, right, it can get used in whichever way your narrative is. You look at Robbo for Scotland, right, he wins it, and he's like, yeah, it was for Jota, that, right? So it can be used in a passionate way, in a positive way, or if you're playing shite, the Reds aren't together because of the Jota. And the last thing as well, I'm sorry, we've all worked in teams. I've worked in big teams, 100 blokes, who we went on patrol every day with, you do not know every single lad, like, best mates with, you know what I mean? There'll be some people in that team, in that squad, who just spoke to Jota every day and went, all right, lad, you're all right. Now, it's still sad and they're still gutted, but they weren't all best mates with him. They weren't all fucking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they were effective as colleagues, weren't they? And they were a team.
Like, and that's fine. It's sad and it's terrible and that, but you can't tell me that every one of them is fucking heads not on it because Jota died. I'm sorry, you fucking
But also
can't.
these are, and again, I don't want to twist this the wrong way, but they are elite athletes for a reason, and that reason is that they're able to switch on, switch off, and they're not robots. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that in the darkest moments or reflective moments that they're not going to be affected by it, but their ability to, whether it's switch off from pressure or switch off from, temptation or whatever, like not going out with the mates, and they're wired differently. They're wired differently, and that's why they are where they are. So I don't buy into the narrative that it's the be all and end all. It's one of the significant factors. I think it's, as you say, I think it's either used. It can be used as an excuse or it can be used as a motivation. 100%. And in this instance, it's being used as the former.
And just drawing to a close before we can forget about Liverpool for a few days at least. Do you know what I think was a mad signing as well? This keeper. Now, I know you could argue Kelleher wanted first team experience, and I respect that. I personally really liked Kelleher. I thought he was probably the best number 2 in the league. I don't know why Kelleher, and again, maybe it was his decision, maybe it was the club's, I don't know, but why they didn't say to Kelleher, listen, Alisson's got 2 years left. He's injury prone anyway. Hold out for 2 more years. You're going to be the number 1 for the next 10 years. I think he would have said yeah. But instead, they've let him go. He's playing great for Brentford. And we've got this lad in who, to me, he doesn't look anything. I think for Liverpool fans, we've had bad keepers over the years. Vesterveld, Dudek. Not bad keepers, but just average keepers. Yeah, average. Alisson's the first goalie in my life. And you're just like, that's like having a Mo Salah playing in goal for you. He's like world class. He will save everything. I just feel we've gone back to an average goalie now. And I don't get, if you're going to have an average goalie, Kelleher was great.
Your goalie's only as good as your back four, though. And your back four have been mediocre. So I think if you're going to defend him or be a bit pragmatic about it, that easily could have been Kelleher. Now you go and he's not good enough.
Yeah, fair one, yeah.
Because Van Dijk has been so solid, so consistent, and to a certain degree up until the start of the season, Kanate, apart from the odd mistake, has been solid and consistent. You've had Robertson, who's been so you've almost had a
we've had a
predictable back four, and I think playing under that playing behind that back four as Kelleher was last year and the year before, I think it's a completely different ball game to what
situation,
Mamardashvili.
But the thing, the current worst form now since 1953, that's 72 years ago. So if you actually want to speak to anyone who remembers what it was like, you're going to have to find a 92-year-old cop-out and ask him, how bad was it back then?
That gives me so much satisfaction. That obviously, it's not to say that this is like success for us, but as you alluded to, we've had so much horrible moments. But to know that there's only like 80-year-old Evertonians who've seen Liverpool fans be this pissed off is...
It's not 90-olds?
You said 72, didn't you?
Yeah, it happened 72 years ago.
Oh yeah,
so you'd have to be 20 to remember
to that banter, yeah.
So if you want to find out the last time Liverpool were this shite, go and find a 92-year-old cop-out because no one else knows what it was like.
Brilliant.
That's how bad. Think about that. That's how bad it is at the minute. And then the other thing is the next 3 games. I think it's Forest, and then I think Leeds and Sunderland. He needs 9 points. I don't mean 7. I don't mean 8. I don't mean he needs maximum points.
No, I think he needs performances and
no, he needs everything, but he needs to get points. No, they need to start winning again. And the last thing I'll say, and then we will move on, he needs to change the formation. What is the point in spending over 200 fucking million quid, right, on 2 strikers and an attacking midfielder, right? He bought a top young striker who looks brilliant, by the way. Ekitike looks great. He's brought in probably the second best number 9 in the Premier League in Isaac, and he bought in Florian Wirtz, who is I think he won German Player of the Year. You spent 200 million on them 3. He's not even playing them all at the same time. He's playing wingers, Salah, who's had a massive drop in form, but yet still playing him. Why does he not switch to 4 at the back, the 3 in midfield that we all know, Viet's just in front of the number 10, and then the 2 number 9s. I don't know why he's not doing that. So these next 3 games, I personally would like to see him change the formation because it's fucking not working. I know we've got a few injuries.
I think the only thing you can caveat that with slightly is the balance, isn't it? Like, for instance, you haven't got fullbacks. Frimpong's injured. You haven't got fullbacks that are going to give you that width, have you? Kirkes is a bit of an empty.
But when the team is all fully fit, if he does what I think he should do, you got Kanate and Van Dijk in the middle. You have Kirkes and Frimpong.
They're not fully
Bradley.
fit though, are they?
I'm saying when they are fully fit, they're bombing. I'm saying, sorry. So, as in for the future, the next 6 months, what he should be looking to do.
How do we not know that he would do that though?
Because the front 3, he keeps on playing 3 up front, like the 4-3-3 we've done for
Because you
years.
haven't got any other width, that's why. It now looks like an unbalanced squad. Like, all the things you're talking about at the start of the season.
It's not working though, lad, it's not
working.
I'm
not saying it's not working, but if you play the way you're talking about playing now, with the players you've got fit, you're not going to have any width. I don't care who you are.
There's other teams that don't have width.
I don't care what team you are in the world. No team who's effective and wins games on a consistent basis and plays well and plays with no width. It's just against the principles of football. You need to make the pitch big, even if you just got players who stand there and don't do nothing and occupy space. But you haven't got those players. But you've got a midfielder playing right back.
But I'm saying though, you'd have Robbo and Kirkes bombing forward.
But you haven't got them, have you?
Why haven't we?
You haven't got a right back. You got a left back who's not playing well. Or
if Szoboszlai is playing right back, he can bomb forward, can he not?
Well, he can, but he just doesn't, does he? You need him in midfield.
Yeah,
you need him in midfield. So
let's just say Bradley and Frimpong are fit and Szoboszlai's in midfield. All right. Play Szoboszlai right back, have him bomb forward and put Endo in the middle. You could still play that 4-3-1-2. And more importantly, you've spent nearly 200 million on 2 number 9s.
You're playing your best player right back. Who does that?
Yeah, I know.
He's your best player.
Injury
the only
crisis.
player playing well.
I'm not asked about that for a minute. What I don't understand, right, is how he's bought Isak, Ekitike and Wirtz, and he's not playing the 3 of them at the same time. That to me,
if I was playing well, but Isak's been poor. Wirtz has been poor.
If I was FSG, I'd be looking at him going, I'd give you 200 odd million just on these 3 players. You spent about 250 million on 3 players, and you can't play.
Well,
make
if that's
them all
their
play
opinion,
together.
mate, if that's the way they're looking at it, he's gone. Because the minute you start looking at your manager going, we bought these players for you, and you're not playing the way or you've got the mindset that you have, which is fair enough, he's gone. Because
imagine if I went to you
can't start going into your manager going, play him here, play him there, as the owners. And if you do think that, you haven't got the right manager.
It's like I've went to you, right, for you and your team, here's a load of fucking new iPhones, brand new iPhones, and then I'll come to work next day and you're sitting there on your fucking little Nokia. And I'm going, lad, why did you make me buy you those new iPhones? I know, but I'm used to this one. It's all right, this, isn't it? Lad, it's blowing my mind how they've signed these players with not an idea of how to play them all together. Yet the defence is awful, Kanate's all injuries. I get all that. But how do you sign Isak, Ekitike and Wirtz and not have an idea of where to play them?
We were talking about this in the summer. You weren't looking at this going, he's got to play 2 up front. You were looking at it as a fan base, as I'm sure he was as a manager, going, this can work.
Yeah.
Wirtz can play on the left, or you can have 2 old midfielders, Wirtz can play behind him, and the front 3. You all thought that could work.
Yeah, but you know what though? You know when it does, the most determined woodpecker, lad, won't get through a lamppost. Okay, doesn't matter how hard you try. He's tried it for a few games. We were winning games, but it wasn't working. At that point, you go, this isn't working here. Change it.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I just don't.
He's got the worst run in 72 years, and he's not even thinking about changing it. That's the frustrating bit.
Yeah, that is frustrating. I get that. What I don't advocate though is playing the only player who's playing well in your team at right back, not in his preferred position.
I agree.
Play him in the middle of the park.
Gomez, what the fuck's Gomez doing?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Honestly, lads.
Do you want to talk about Everton?
Yeah, let's talk about Everton, by the way. Just like beat United with 10 men, a team that apparently on the turn. A team that apparently...
You're above us in the league.
A team that apparently... I mean, we talk about stats and history and stuff. I can't remember the last time we were above you at this stage in the season. I know it's only 12 games, but we've been above you like 5 games in, 4 games in, and we have been above you towards the end of the season, certainly, and Moyes' first... I think it was Moyes' first reign, possibly, the last time we were above yous. This at this stage in the season. But anyway, forget about you for a minute, because as much as it's amusing, I think our lads deserve some credit as well. I mean, you talk about, just to go back to your players' attitudes on the pitch, and I was obviously really frustrated and frustrated with the decision to send Guy off, but equally frustrated by 2 of your players having a bit of, but that's the group that we've got at the moment. They care. Like Michael Keane, who wouldn't say boo to a goose, is suddenly having a pop at our player of the year from last year in the middle of the match. Because he's going, listen, that's not good enough. Don't give the ball away on the edge of our area. And Gallagher's almost turned around and went, hold on, who are you talking to? You're crap, you. And it's almost like that type of thing. And they've stood up. And Michael Keane's been outstanding. And I'll be the first person to say it. I'm sure I've said it on here.
You have, yeah.
And I've definitely said it on my own podcast. Michael Keane, I couldn't have been more supportive of us moving on from him and getting someone else. But, you know, the logical decision was made to keep a centre-back as a reserve rather than getting rid of him and having to go and pay 15 million to buy someone else in reserve. So we've kept him. Definitely wasn't first choice. He's had to be brought into the team and he's been nothing short of, you know, a revelation, which is remarkable at his age. But
it did make me laugh though when Moyes come out after it and said, I quite like the players fighting. He would not have said that if you should.
No, well, no, I wasn't saying at the time, but now, as you say, with the I think... No, I think it's true what he said.
Because were you 1-0?
No, it was 0-0. Okay. 0-0. It was only 8 minutes gone. So
if you had got the game, he would have been. It was a stupid decision.
No, but you know what? Again, you've got it the other way, and we've had it that way so many times. You know, at this time last year, we got beat 5-0 there, but you know we've got a bit more about us. And I did say. I said it quite early in the season, and I got a bit of stick in the comments for saying it. This group is a bit different. They've got a bit more personality. They've got a bit more about them. There's definitely a togetherness there, which Moyes has brought. And I think Dewsbury Hall's comments after the game were brilliant to hear. And he said, look, at the start of the season, David Moyes said, look, yous are good enough to go and take the game to teams, and I want to see a bit more. I want to see a bit more about you, but you can't forget what Everton stands for, and that's, you know, grit, determination, you know, being hard to beat and all that. And you're seeing that in abundance. I think we started the game really well.
So you know what I think's a big thing? Well, just from an outside looking in, talk all the time about, you know, you're a product of your surroundings. The old analogy, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change rooms. I think adding Grealish to that group has had a massive impact.
Brought the levels up, yeah.
Yeah, because people are looking at a serial winner.
It's training every day, though. Yeah. And you go into training and he's setting the standards. Yeah. And I think that's been
such a massive impact, because they're almost looking at a player going, you've won Everton here. Yeah. And you know, what's it like to win Everton, and seeing what... And because he's a kind of likeable character as well, he probably hasn't got that kind of ego and that. You know,
no, it's not the same to the same extent, but even Dewsbury Hall is won a European trophy the year before at Chelsea, and coming in and going, you know what, he knows how to win things, and he's been in a decent side, and he's played for Chelsea, and you play for Man City, and you know, and Dice has got teams around Europe that are having a good look at him. But yeah, I think before the sending off, and it was obviously very early, we come out, you could see it wasn't the same David Moyes team that we'd seen in his first spell, where they go to Old Trafford, they sit back and go, okay, let's see what we can get here, let's see what Man United got. We went on the front foot, and up until the sending off, we were the better side. But the way they responded to that, and I think what I took as a real positive, regardless of the results and the performance and all that, is we've now seen that he can drop Keane and Dewsbury all in alongside James Garner, and actually it can still be effective, because that's something that at home, certainly, where we've been lacking a bit of impetus and cutting edge at times, we've been looking for one of those defensive midfielders to go off, Dewsbury Hall to drop in, but he's been nervous about breaking that three up. But now he's seen that actually he can drop him deeper and he can still be effective.
Great goal, by the way.
Oh, brilliant goal. And listen, he's got that in his locker. He's a very good player, and I think he's gone under the radar for a lot of people because of the other two, as in Ndiaye and Grealish stealing the headlines, and at times for the right reasons, but a lot of our play, most of our play, goes through him.
I think you look at like Liverpool's midfield last season, got spoken about a lot, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai. You had Newcastle's midfield three getting spoken about. I think Everton's midfield three are having that season where you look back and you'll go, Everton done well this season because of that midfield three.
Yeah, it's fair. And you know, it's an interesting one ahead of the weekend. Obviously, we are up against one of the best three midfields in the league. They haven't got a great away record, Newcastle, but they're always a tough side to play against, and they'll be coming to the Hill Dickinson Stadium thinking this is it. It's a good stadium. I think there's always a bit of an edge between the Newcastle and Everton fans. But yeah, I think the midfield deserves credit. It's going to be interesting how he approaches those selections of the weekend, given the guys went off, but we put in such a good performance and still looked very balanced in the way we played. So,
I mean, you win at the weekend, you're looking 4th, 5th, depending on how.
Well, there's not a lot, is there, in between 4th place, is it, and 12th? I think there's only 3 or 4 points. So it's listen, I think every game now when you're doing all right and you're on the cusp of it, as us and a lot of other teams are, it is very important. And I think you lose and suddenly, we end up 14th and whatever, because Newcastle are just below us. But I really determined for us to get a result at the weekend, because I think it vindicates a bit of the progress we've made. I think if you go and get beat by Newcastle at home, or you draw with Newcastle at home, it's almost like one step forward, one step back.
It takes away the victory against United, really, doesn't it?
It does, and I think with the form that Newcastle have got away from home, and relatively our decent form at home, which it has been. I think we've lost 1 at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. I think,
you had the Spurs defeat, didn't you? But
yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a funny game, that. But yeah, but listen,
you look at the next 3 games: Newcastle, Bournemouth, Bournemouth, Forest. 3 winnable games there, and before you know it, you're in Champions League.
It changes quite quickly, doesn't it? And I think what's been a huge plus, and I come off the back of the Fulham game, is and it's only happened over the last 2 games, to be fair, is Tieno Barry now seems to have settled a little bit. He's not scoring goals, but I don't think that wasn't the play we were buying. Like, at Villarreal, okay, he scored 11, 12 goals, but he's very much a player who drifted out to the wing, dropped in deep. He's not a traditional number 9. I think that was the problem initially, is David Moyes was playing, as I've said a few times, playing Barry, playing Beto, expecting the same things from very different players. He's not that player. I think Moyes seems to have accepted that now, and now that he's accepted it and the other players have accepted it, he's starting to look like an half-decent player. He actually, on Monday, and this has gone a little bit under the radar, broke the record for the most aerial duels won in a Premier League game this season by any player, which is really, which is remarkable.
Do you want that though? I want to bring it back to Liverpool just for a second as well, and Everton. It's both a conundrum, I think, which is it's just a mad thing to have in your team. I don't know, as a manager and as 2 strikers, you kind of, and you brought it up a couple of weeks back, how you kind of get yourself ready for the game. I'm looking at your 2 strikers and Isaac and Ekatike. How do you kind of go into a game knowing you haven't got 90 minutes to get a goal, you've only got 60 or 30, depending on who he starts first? And I think that's how...
No, it does. It definitely affects them. Because it puts a lot of pressure on every moment, doesn't it? Because you're thinking, this game's now a shorter game. I've got to do something in that 60 minutes.
And that's why I'm a big advocate for Liverpool changing the formation and playing them both at the same time. I don't know whether it worked.
No, it would. Oh my God, no, definitely not. But he played, I think, 80-odd minutes on Monday, and played 78 minutes against Fulham, and you can see the difference in his demeanour now and his confidence, and the other players kind of going over to him as he's going off, going well done. He's still a kid as well, but yeah, I think it does again come back to that togetherness and the determination that the group have got, and we've come back from a few setbacks now, which I think is encouraging. As you say, that Spurs defeat at home 3-0, that could have really set us back, but we've had a few good results since.
Yeah,
but I think this game against Newcastle is a really important one. I think for the fans, for the players, because they are that team that are in that
top
bunch.
6,
they're in that bunch. No, but I think they are a top 6 side. But at the moment, they're in that bunch of teams that are trying to knock on the door.
You look at your last 7 games though. Your 2 defeats were against City and Spurs, and you drew against Sunderland and West Ham. Bear in mind, Sunderland were flying. And then you've won your other 3: Palace, Fulham, and Man United. It's not bad form, really, isn't it? When you think about it.
No, but again, I think we're only 1 defeat away from looking at it and going, there's 3 defeats in your last 7 games. So I think it is a bit of a defining game, this one, in terms of where we are at this point in the season, and beating a team like Newcastle at home. It sounds a bit mad, but that's almost bread and butter for us. We generally have got a good record against Newcastle at Goodison. So we did at Goodison. So I think carrying that into the new stadium would be important, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like kick-off on a Saturday night, I'm not normally is keen on. But yeah, this weekend's get out, have a few drinks early, stay out after it, hopefully celebrating a victory.
Yeah, perfect kick-off time, innit? Other bits of news in football this week I thought was interesting. Ronaldo, obviously, it was an elbow, I think, wasn't it? Or a punch or an elbow?
Elbow,
yeah.
Elbow.
Naughty elbow as well.
Very naughty elbow.
Suspension.
So for anyone who hasn't seen it, he should be getting a 3-game ban.
Which would mean he missed the first 3 games of the World Cup.
He'd missed the first 2.
Oh, was it 2? Yeah.
He would have missed the first 2 games.
Right,
but FIFA have come out and said, we're going to give you a suspended sentence so that you can actually play in the first game. I mean, whatever way you want to paint this up,
that's so corrupt.
It's just corruption, isn't it?
Well, it's literally all of the commercial sponsors going, hold on.
Mm.
We give you millions for this World Cup. You can't not play Ronaldo. He's our poster boy. He's the...
Not even going down...
He's the reason why we're sponsored in the World Cup.
Not even going down the conspiracy route, but it is well within the realms of possibility that Trump has got on the phone and said, you need to sort something because, you know...
He was over there, weren't he?
Yeah. Like, that sounds like, you know, tinfoil hat, but why not? Like you say, he's worth that much money for the sponsorships, you know, to be the face of it. What happens if he doesn't play in Portugal, get beat the first 2 games, and suddenly, Ronaldo...
Whoever's in Portugal's group, I've almost got grounds to go and sue FIFA for change. You can't change the rules.
And the irony is, he won't even end up... He'll probably retire after the World Cup, so he'll never actually serve those 2 games suspension anyway.
It sounds mad. I think Portugal are the best team without him. No.
Well, yeah, that is the other point.
So
the game of the week proved that, didn't he?
Yeah,
didn't it?
They're more fluid, aren't they? You've got other players stepping up. It's just disgusting, though,
isn't it? It's just disgusting how you can just do what they like.
If I was Ronaldo, I'd be a bit embarrassed by it, to be honest, because you're speaking before about the Ronaldos and Messis of the world are built differently. And don't get me wrong, he's gone and elbowed someone, so clearly he's got an edge. That edge normally is an advantage to him, but I think when he sat there and reflected on that before this suspensions come out, he's probably felt a bit embarrassed about it, regretful, blah, blah, blah. But I think he'd be sitting there thinking, it's a bit, I don't want this to define my legacy, that being that person.
Or is he not thinking, I am so good that rules have been changed just for me?
Maybe, yeah. That wouldn't...
Because he's also got that mentality as well sometimes.
That arrogance, yeah. But that wouldn't surprise me either. But it is a crazy...
So on that as well, what did make me laugh, I just wanted to Google this quickly before I get sued by Ronaldo, but one of the things why he got his suspended sentence was because of his good conduct record. You know, they kind of look back at him. They obviously failed to look back into his off-the-field stuff where Ronaldo admitted to paying $375,000 to settle a sexual assault claim. So they obviously didn't look into his off-the-field demeanours and his record because, you know, and with that did make me think back to when we talked about...
How many times has Ronaldo been sent off? I feel like Ronaldo got sent off quite a few times early in his Premier League career. I remember like one time him kicking the ball away at Villa Park, like dead early. I think he got sent off like 2 or 3 times in his first couple of seasons in the Premier League.
I know, but I mean, paying like $375,000
no, but they're referring,
for a sexual assault case is probably a bit more.
It is, but they're referring to his conduct.
No, and I was just joking, saying like,
and the fact that he's got a flawless. If he's never been sent off in his career, and they're going like oh no, he has. I know for a fact he has.
But do you remember the other week we were talking about players, and it's like it's weird how you can, depending on who you are and what you do, you can just get away with stuff. It's like people really just randomly forget that he paid nearly $400,000 over a sexual assault case. Isn't that mad? Yeah. How we just forget about that?
Well, to be honest,
13 times he's been sent off. It says here 13.
13 times, flawless record. Come on, that's. I mean,
it's disgusting.
13 times.
ESPN are now saying 14 on this one as well. So I'd have to look into that.
Yeah,
but
it might be 14, including the Allen. I mean, that's
more than enough to say that he's not a clean guy. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think there's another one. You know, there was a Vegas woman as well that he paid off as well. Oh mate, he's been paying off a lot of women over the years. Like,
so why wouldn't he pay off FIFA or pay off, you know what I mean, or get someone to pay FIFA to go? Yeah, there's 50 million.
Exactly.
Make sure Ronaldo plays.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah, that was the Las Vegas one I was on about. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Las Vegas hotel in 2009. He paid to settle allegations that he raped a woman in Vegas. Anyway, so yeah, FIFA are corrupt and Ronaldo was a bit of a naughty boy. The other thing that happened this week, which I think if you're going to get on your high and mighty and kind of do your best Joey Barton thing, it was probably a big story, but me, it was just annoying. Did you see the women's draw for the FA or the League Cup? Have you not seen this?
No.
Oh, right, this is interesting. So, they do the draw for the League Cup, and apparently the women's, what did they call it? The WSL.
WSL.
So obviously they're trying to get, more eyes on it all the time. They're trying new things and blah, blah, blah. So they decide to get that GK Barry. I think don't know what she's famous for.
She was on I'm a Celebrity last year, but she's like a podcaster.
Yeah, but to be a celeb, what did she get on it for though?
Podcasting.
A podcast?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's a podcaster, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so she's a podcaster. I'm assuming...
We're knocking podcasters, mate.
I'm assuming influencer.
Careful, yeah.
Podcasters and YouTube memes.
Someone got Andy Grant in.
I would hate to be called that, but anyway. So they've got her in to do the draw for the Women's League Cup, and which I'm not against getting non-football, like, you got the old Rod Stewart one, where he done all that.
Yeah,
the
FA do it quite a bit, actually.
It can be fun, but she's just read the room completely wrong, and she fucked up the draw. Like, she picked the ball out, and then she put it back in, but then thankfully picked out the same one again. Otherwise, they would have had to redo it. And then she was making loads of like sexual innuendos and stuff like that. Now, I'm one of those where it's funny, but it does make you think, and I know a lot of people will say this, if that was a man doing that, fucking hell, there would be murder, wouldn't there? And that's what a lot of people are going. It was like, one, it doesn't look great on the women's league. It was just mega unprofessional. Two, if a man had done that, it'd be in the headlines a lot more than it is now. She's just talking about, let me swing me balls, and it was just all a bit rude and a bit like. So then it brings into the question, are we, or our kind of television, or maybe the corporate world, or just society, leaning into like this kind of TikTok influencer too much? Like, we need them to kind of grow our services and grow our products, because like they've got GK Barry in because she's no doubt.
Yeah, we've seen like I Show Speed going on like Sky Sports and all that, and he's just a lad off YouTube or Twitch or whatever, and again it's trying to get the younger generation in.
On it, yeah.
Well, it is.
Sky tried to do it with a Halo last week and just got absolutely.
But that's what I mean. I think sometimes they almost push it too much and it backfires a little bit. And I think this was one time where people looking at it and was going, I actually like women's football, but who the fuck's this girl? And why is she being rude? And why is she fucking the draw up? And what's going on? I think that's what people have kind of.
And it's a bit ironic, isn't it? Because like where the WSL or the women's games got credit is it's more accessible to children, and it's like, kids enjoy going to games. It's a nicer atmosphere and all that. Yeah. So trying to get that balance between maintaining that but then increasing the eyes on the game is a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're trying to come across as professional, as in, look, take us serious. But then they've got this TikToker in to get more views on, but then the view people then get from it is this just kind of...
Yeah, that's where Sky dropped the ball through the week with that Halo. Did you see it?
I didn't see that one, no.
So this is how short it ran. So they tried to bring out like a women's only like part of their channel and part of their like social media presence, and it was called Halo, and it was basically showing football clips but with like a female edge or a female caption, and it was just basically, you can just see that they were like, how can we get people in? How can we get girls to watch this? And it was so fucking patronising, cringy, but really patronising, as if to say like, this is the only way we can get girls to watch it is by having a pink font and talk about matcha tea and all this shite. And it made, like, within the space of 48 hours, it made Sky retract everything. And it was like, yeah, we got that wrong.
Yeah. Like, I just don't think like we should be trying to shoehorn people into doing stuff. You look at like the Anfield Rap. I know you do work with them much. I've seen a few girls on there who are brilliant. You know what I mean? I think Redmen TV got a couple of girls. You see women doing a podcast and stuff, giving the football opinion, and they're brilliant. You don't need to kind of make football into this kind of girly, make it all like with the all inclusive in the sense that it's all inclusive. If girls like it, they like it, and they'll enjoy it, and they'll speak about it.
You're right. I think that
and they'll debate it regardless. You know what I mean? You don't have to kind of, and I think that's what we're doing with Everton society. We're trying to make Everton easier to get to, and it's like, if someone doesn't like it, they don't like it. If someone does like it, they do like it, and then they'll get good at it.
But we're in an age now where media and content is so accessible.
Yeah.
You don't need to ram something down someone's throat. If they want to consume it, they'll find it, and there's so many places you can get it. And GK Barry's a perfect example of that. She set something up herself. She puts stuff out that she enjoys to talk about and cover, and obviously some of it's going to be sponsored, and some of it is about making money, and a lot of it will be about making money. But that's an example of a lot of people have consumed her content because they like her and they like what she's about. So pushing her into somewhere else in another arena just to get eyes on it, to get them to like something that they don't normally like, is just really awkward. Really awkward.
I was going to say your exact point. My daughter, 11, watched GK Barry on I'm a Celeb and really liked it.
Yeah.
Now, if she's seen it do the Women's League Cup draw, I know my daughter would not suddenly start liking football just because GK Barry's done it.
Yeah.
So I get why they're trying to do it, but clearly it doesn't work all the time, as with your example as well, Musk. I think that's about it. Really, mostly footy this week.
Bang got an hour as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
About 59 minutes of moaning about Liverpool.
Sorry to any blue. Well, sorry to Blues. People probably enjoy it.
I'm on it. Across the park being recorded today, so I'll get me fix of talking about Everton for half an hour.
The only one thing I will say, I just saw a thing last week. McGregor came out and said that he went to see someone in America about it was Mexico, I think it might have been. Do you see that? And he's like, I don't know, I'll need to read it properly, but I just seen the headline, the kind of 30-second reel or whatever it was, and it was like, he's gone to see someone about his addictions and his substance abuse and all this, and he's now like...
Mr. Positive, isn't he?
He's now Mr. like, I've seen God and God's put me on the right path and all that. It'd be interesting to see how long it lasts for and whether he does kind of. But do you know what is funny? You look at the comments straight away, and some of the comments on Instagram are funny, aren't they? Like, that's the first thing I do now, when you see something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Comments, some people are witty as fuck, man. And just straight away, the negativity was like, it's funny how people can turn to God and be on the right path straight after you rape someone. Like, and do you know what it made me think of, though? True story. I was travelling around Colombia a few years back, and there was this square, and there was a cathedral there, right? And next to the cathedral, there's like brasses where the brasses go. And the tour guide said that what they do is, because Colombia is quite a religious country, people there believe that as soon as you kind of say you're sorry and repent, like, that's a clean slate. So they'll just go and bang in these brasses, and then straight away, once they finish, just go in the church and go, sorry, God.
Sorry about that.
Straight behind my wife's back, I'm sorry. Won't do it again.
Yeah, till next week.
So as long as you repent, it's like, listen,
God.
Who's to say what the big man judges and what he doesn't? Like Tupac says, only God can judge me.
Yeah. That's where Ronaldo's at with it then.
Exactly. Ronaldo, man. I think you know what we need with Ronaldo? Like that Irish investigative journalist, the one who brought Lance Armstrong down. He's got I've read his book, brilliant. Honestly, brilliant guy. Forget his name. They need someone like him to go after Ronaldo, because no one who makes that much money and that much power and that much ego and that good looking is as clean cut as
you're just suggesting now, as like you were talking about like Bellingham, the media they can't accept that someone's just fucking good. Obviously, I'm not saying he's flawless.
Lad, he's factually paid $375,000 to stop a sexual assault
I'm not. Right, listen,
that's not me insinuating that I'm bringing down. That's just a fact.
Fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But do you know what I mean? If they looked into just how, I'm not on about being a hater bringing people down, but I just think, lad, come on.
Yeah.
You've got some fucking skeletons, you. Anyway.
Anyone who goes on an all-inclusive holiday and is going to the gym 3 times a day is sus. See that story?
Lampard.
Yeah.
What? I was in the same hotel as Ronaldo a couple of years ago. He said, I'm lying on the sunbed, bar 12 o'clock on my second pint or whatever, and Ronaldo comes past, goes to the gym. He said, I'll let on to him.
Who's this Lampard telling the story?
Lampard telling the story. He said, and he's got his, washboard abs and all that. And I'm sitting there with my gut out on my second beer. He said, and then about 2 hours later, I see him go in the gym again. He said, and I'm on my 4th beer thinking, these are the levels here. What's going on? He's been in the gym 3 times here, and I've had 4 pints in the meantime.
Then he said his kid wanted the photo, so he put his shirt on and went over and asked. He went, I'm not having my shirt off next to him.
Wow. Hey, fair play to him. Sorry, last thing. I've only started watching the first 10 minutes of it. The overlap this week. Obviously, last week they spoke about Neville getting paid as high as was 1.7 million.
Ashley Cole.
I think Carr's was 3 million. Rooney's was 17. Ashley's was 10. 200 bags a week.
There was something else as well. It needs to. Middlesbrough seems to be. Got smashed 4-2 at home by Coventry. Slipping down the league.
Yeah, but Coventry are flying though. To be fair,
they are, but 4-2 at home is a bit iffy.
Listen, what did we say? It was playoffs. They won it. It was
the playoffs. They're now in the playoffs by 2 points. I think.
Fine, lads. Fine.
And Ipswich and Southampton are just starting to. Well, Southampton are flying. Well, not flying. They've won the first couple of games, haven't they? The new manager, 5-1 and 3-0 or something. Yeah, they're not in the playoffs yet.
Hey, and Southport are flying as well.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Unbeaten in a month.
Yeah.
Unbeaten in a month. I think last time they tasted defeat was the 22nd of October.
Kidderminster they beat the other night, was it?
Yeah, 2-0, wasn't it? Marine won as well, 2-0 this week.
Marine in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoff places, which is awkward because I don't think they can get promoted.
I think
so. Because of the stadium?
Yeah.
Southport are about 15th, somewhere else. So everyone's flying. Everton, Southport, Marine.
Oh, sorry,
apart from Liverpool.
One really quick story to finish on this, and sorry for anyone who's going to miss this story because it's quite late in the episode, but have you seen the Sheffield United owners have contacted the administrators at Sheff Wed to ask them if they consider merging clubs?
Fuck off.
Yeah. Because Sheff Wed are on their arse.
You cannot do that, lad.
No, I wouldn't think so, but
what?
It's a really interesting story, yeah.
Imagine if Everton had said that to Liverpool when we nearly went under a few years back under Gillette and Hicks.
Merging clubs, yeah.
Would you not do that though and just have one massive stadium?
Sheffield FC or whatever.
Wow.
There's actually a team, Sheffield FC. I think they're one of the oldest teams in the world, actually.
Lad, the fans would not have that.
No, the Sheff Wednesday fans would be. I mean, both sets of fans would be fuming.
That's what I mean. No,
but I guess like think of it the other way around. Let's say we said to you, yeah, come and join us. We've got to play in blue though. Stadium's all going to be blue.
Yeah,
you're just going to have to support Everton.
Get in and bear it. Imagine if suppose though, right? If it was like if it was, listen, this team is going to become extinct, or we merge. I wonder whether it'd play in the heartstrings of like local fans and be like, oh come on, like what would you do if you were like. When Hicks and Gillette nearly...
I'd just go and support. Oh, sorry, yeah.
So if we were like, listen, come on, just let us... join
I'd rather we bought you and just let you die. Just let the club just...
No, but honestly, imagine if they just called Everpool.
Everpool. You used to always... What was that in, like... I feel like I used to do that when we were kids, like playing like 5-a-sides or whatever and call it Everpool or... It was never Liverton, it was always Everpool, wasn't it?
Everpool and just had like a massive 100,000-seater stadium.
Played in what? In grey or something?
Just blue and white stripe, like QPR.
Merseyside Perps.
Blue and red stripes.
One of my
Perps.
blue and white, I was thinking.
Yeah, like those Pro Evo teams.
Oh, yeah.
Merseyside.
I was a Pro Evo guy, by the way.
I was, yeah, massively.
Hated FIFA.
I hated FIFA. The gameplay was nowhere near as good.
Yeah. Mersey Red, was it? Yeah.
Merseyside Reds and Merseyside Blues.
I
right?
fucking loved that. Imagine if you think about how many hours you wasted. Well, it probably goes
wasted? No. Some wasted, that lad.
It's like that quote, think times you enjoy wasting is not wasted.
Oh, no. That and like...
Champ Man was the one.
Manager, yeah.
And Age of Empires.
I remember
Team Hospital.
I remember one New Year's Eve, right? This is how much of a bit ming I was at the time. It was about 13 or 14. My mate come round to ours on New Year's Eve and we started playing Footy Manager. And we were that engrossed by it. Like, my family were having a party downstairs. Everyone went outside into the street, to bring the new year in. And I was still upstairs. And my ma was fuming, because she liked to bring the new year in.
Yeah.
And I'm upstairs playing Footy Manager with my mate.
Football Manager was an artificial time accelerator. It was, you went on it, you played a couple of games, and then 7 hours had gone, and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
I've just spent like 2.5 hours looking for a left winger for less than 2 million.
Do you know what the most depressing thing was about that game? And the only bad thing I'll say about it is every time you saved it, it kept track of how many hours you'd spent on it. And I remember one time I was like logging off saving it, and it was like, you spent 3 weeks, 2 days, 6 hours. I was like, of my life gone, dedicated to this. Wow.
Filtering for a left winger who's like over 17 pace.
Yeah.
Has got a 14.
Did you ever get that cheat code and you could make your own player and make your own team?
Yeah.
I done it once, called it like Granty FC, and I put like every player on 20. But there were a few mistakes. I just put Everton on 20, but I put injury prone 20. So I was fucking injured every week.
Whole squad.
And then the other problem is if you have like, I start off right at the bottom of the league, and I had everyone on 20. The problem was the games took forever because you'd win like 60-0 every game, and it was like, oh, this is a bit I've cheated a bit too much here. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
should have a whole episode on? I think
we should. You know,
nostalgia
and just start throwing out names that everyone would know.
Yeah.
Martin Palermo was my one.
Taribo West was always
Taribo West
at the start.
Remember that Freddie Adu, the young kid from America?
Yeah.
Adriano was boss on.
There was loads of Scandinavian.
Adriano,
loads of Scandinavian players that you can get for about 50 grand, 60 grand, and they go like decent. Like Swedish players.
My favourite stats on Martin Palermo: once missed a hat-trick of penalties for Boca Juniors.
Wow.
Right, we maybe do that. Right. Get in your comments some of your best football manager and Pro Evo names, because I love, when someone says a name and you're like, fuck!
And your best moments.
It's like a proper, like...
That, I don't know, that was a reel or something ages ago when you put your suit on for the FA Cup.
What's up, as a fan?
Put your suit on for the FA Cup. Go and get dressed for the FA Cup final.
Do you remember we used
to manager? Doing your press conference.
Do you remember when
you used to pretend to do your press conference? I used to pretend to do your
I didn't get in the suit though. Yeah. Just sat there going, it's going to be a tough game. Yeah. Or if you got beaten, you're like explaining yourself to the board. Yeah. Oh, fucking I was a ming. Right. Get in your best stories. Please like, comment, share. Massive thank you for the support. As always, get down to the Fed to support your local boozer. And again, big thanks to Comaletics. Don't forget your 30% off. And also Hill Dickinson. See you next week.